Why does your cat suddenly bolt out of the room just because you did that one harmless thing? Here's the truth. Cats may look cool and collected, but their secret dislikes run deep, and most humans have no idea they're triggering them. From the scents you wear to the sounds you make, these everyday things can turn your cat's love into low-key loathing. But don't worry, we're revealing all 16 of them today. And the last one? It's something almost every cat owner does without realizing it. So, let's find out what's really rubbing your feline the wrong way, because one might already be happening in your house right now. Starting with number 16, dirty litter boxes. What if your bathroom was never flushed, never cleaned, and always stinking up the hallway? Would you go in there happily every day? No, neither would your cat. See, felines aren't just clean, they're borderline obsessive. A dirty litter box isn't just gross to them, it's a violation. It's like asking someone to eat lunch in a porta potty. And guess what? Most cats won't even tell you directly when it's unacceptable. They'll just stop using it. That's when mysterious corner puddles or accidents on fresh laundry start happening. It's not rebellion, it's desperation. The moment your kitty smells that the box hasn't been scooped, it triggers their flight mode. Clean territory means safe territory, and an unclean space feels threatening. So if your whiskered roommate is suddenly avoiding their box, don't assume it's a health issue just yet. Check the scoop first. Now imagine that same super sensitive nose catching a sudden unpredictable bang from across the room. That brings us to the next thing cats absolutely cannot stand. Number 15. Loud noises. What if every sound in your home felt like a car alarm going off inside your head? That's what life can be like for a cat. Those adorable ears aren't just cute, they're acoustic superpowers. A feline can hear frequencies we can't even register. So when the vacuum roars to life or fireworks explode outside, it's not just loud, it's overwhelming. Imagine trying to relax while someone blasts music next to your pillow. That's how overstimulating it is. And while we humans might eventually tune it out, cats don't. Their brains are wired for survival, and loud, sudden noises trigger pure panic. You might notice your fur baby sprint under the bed or freeze mid-step. These aren't quirks, they're coping tactics. Even daily things like hair dryers or kitchen blenders can turn a calm moment into chaos. Guilty of doing this? Well, here's the thing. The more you understand them, the stronger the connection becomes. So if your heart's feeling a little heavier for doing some of the things they silently hate, take comfort in knowing you're doing right by them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you'll never miss an important moment that could bring you even closer to your whiskered companion. But here's something even quieter that sends cats into full-on defense mode. Ever felt like someone was watching you? Well, to a cat, that's not just awkward, it's threatening. Let's talk about that next. Number 14. Being stared at. Why does your kitty suddenly blink slowly, look away, or even leave the room when you lock eyes with them? It's not because they're being dramatic. It's because, in cat language, a direct stare is anything but affectionate. In the wild, predators stare down their prey. And in feline social code, holding eye contact is basically a showdown. So when you lovingly gaze at that fluffy face and wonder why they seem so weirded out, well, to them, you just challenge them to a duel. That's why cats do the slow blink. It's their version of I trust you without being threatening. So instead of locking eyes, try a soft blink and look away. That's cat code for we're good. And if you think that's misunderstood, wait until we talk about how much cats actually despise when you mess with their routine. One tiny schedule shift might not mean much to you, but to your feline, it's like the world just tipped sideways. Let's get into that next. If any of these things felt familiar, we'd love to hear your story. What's something your cat does that drives you crazy but is totally adorable at the same time? Or maybe they have an odd dislike you never saw coming. Comment below and share it with us. We read every story and trust us. Your experiences remind us why the bond with our feline friends is one of a kind. Let's celebrate this special connection together. For now, let's move on to number 13. Changes in routine. Why does your cat act like the world is ending when breakfast is 10 minutes late? Simple, because in their mind, it is. Felines are creatures of ritual. When their daily rhythm shifts, be it a delayed feeding, a moved litter box, or even a new bedtime routine, it doesn't just confuse them, it stresses them out. Imagine if your alarm clock rang at a random hour every day, your coffee maker disappeared, and your bed moved rooms while you were at work. That's what small changes feel like to your whiskered friend. Their internal clock is more precise than you'd expect, and when that structure gets rattled, so does their sense of safety. That's why you might see them sulk, hide, or suddenly refuse to eat. It's not drama, it's genuine discomfort. Once a routine is formed, cats bond to it like glue. And when that glue breaks, they look for comfort elsewhere, often through scent, but not just any scent. Let's talk about the one smell that makes them scrunch their face and run for cover. Number 12. Scented products. What if the candle you light to relax is the very thing stressing your cat out? While we humans love a fresh lavender breeze or zesty citrus cleaner, felines experience scent in high definition. A whiff of something too strong can be downright overwhelming, like blasting perfume into your own face and trying to breathe. Cats have around 200 million scent receptors in their nose. That's more than double what we have. So when you spritz that new room spray or light a scented candle, your fur baby isn't basking in the aroma, they're fleeing the scene. It's not just about preference, it's survival. Many scented oils and synthetic fragrances aren't just unpleasant to cats, they can irritate their airways or even make them sick. If your feline friend keeps sneezing, hiding, or avoiding a freshly cleaned room, their nose might be begging for mercy. But if you think smell is a big deal, just wait till you see how they feel about water. And no, we're not talking about their water bowl. Number 11. Water. Unwanted, that is. Why does your adorable little predator turn into a panicked puddle the moment water touches their fur? It's not drama. It's biology. See, while humans can enjoy a warm bath after a long day, for cats, unexpected wetness feels like a full-blown crisis. Their fur isn't just for looks. It insulates, balances body temperature, and keeps them sleek for silent stalking. But get that coat drenched, and suddenly everything's heavy, sticky, and cold. It disrupts their scent, too, basically stripping away their invisible armor. Now sure, some rare feline souls don't mind a splash, but for most, even the sound of running water is enough to trigger escape mode. And no, it's not because they're being dramatic. It's because their entire system is telling them something's wrong. Think about it. Would you want to be soaked without warning in the middle of your nap? And speaking of surprise offenses, wait until you find out what happens when a human dares to rub the belly zone without invitation. That one? It's a ticking time bomb of fluff. Number 10. Belly rubs. Unless invited. Why would a creature roll over, expose its fluffy belly like a plushy rug, and then launch a surprise attack when you reach for it? Sounds like a trap, right? Well, in cat world, it kind of is. When a feline flops on its back and flashes that vulnerable spot, it's not always a cry for belly scratches. It's a gesture of trust, like saying, "I feel safe with you." But that trust doesn't automatically equal permission. Unlike dogs who practically beg for tummy rubs, most cats see belly touching as crossing the line. That area's loaded with sensitive nerve endings, so even a gentle stroke can feel like too much, too fast. It's like someone poking your ribs while you're trying to relax. It's jarring, not loving. So next time you see that soft fur patch, take it as a compliment, not an invitation. And speaking of personal space, wait until you hear how much cats despise being picked up without warning. That's coming up next at number 9. Forced cuddles or holding. Have you ever tried to hug your cat only to be met with a swift paw swipe or an angry meow? Well, that's not them being rude. It's their way of telling you, "I prefer my space. Thank you very much." Cats, unlike us, don't see holding as a warm, comforting gesture. They see it as a potential trap. To them, being confined or restrained goes against their instinctual need for freedom. Imagine being held in place against your will. It feels uncomfortable, right? That's exactly how your feline feels when you scoop them up without asking. But don't fret. This doesn't mean they don't love you. Quite the opposite. They simply want to come to you when they're ready, on their terms. It's about trust, and they'll show you affection when they feel safe enough to do so. So next time, let them make the first move and watch the snuggles follow. And speaking of things that stress them out, let's talk about what happens when they face number 8. Closed doors. Ever wonder why your furry friend seems to lose their mind when you shut a door? It's not just a random outburst. Cats hate being kept out of places they want to explore. Think of it like how we feel when we're excluded from a party or a meeting. We don't like being left out either. To them, closed doors are an emotional barrier, blocking access to what they believe is their territory. Whether it's a bedroom, closet, or even the bathroom, that door represents something they must investigate. It's their way of saying, "I should be there." And just like us, the more you try to block them from a space, the more determined they'll be to break through. So next time they're meowing at a door, don't be surprised. This is their way of saying, "Let me in." But what happens when you try to take your cat for a ride? Well, that's an entirely different kind of chaos. Number 7. Car rides. Have you ever noticed how your feline reacts when it's time to get in the car? It's not just your imagination, they really hate it. Unlike dogs, who often enjoy a ride, most cats don't do well in cars. The movement, the strange smells, and the lack of control all combine into a whirlwind of panic. Imagine being confined in a small space, spinning and zooming through unfamiliar places. It's a stress nightmare for your little buddy. So why do they react this way? It's all about their heightened senses. Cats are more attuned to their environment and can quickly feel overwhelmed by the unfamiliar stimuli. The constant motion and change of scenery can make them feel trapped and anxious. It's like taking a human on a roller coaster without warning. And it's not just about the ride. Getting them into the carrier can be a battle in itself. Want to know why sudden movements can make things even worse? Stick around because that's next. Number 6. Sudden movements. Ever noticed how your feline friend jumps in surprise when you make a sudden movement? It's not because they're being dramatic. They're just wired to be hyper-aware of their surroundings. Imagine being startled every time someone moved quickly around you. Wouldn't you feel on edge too? Cats are wired for survival. Their natural instincts are sharp, meaning they interpret rapid gestures as potential threats. Whether it's a swift hand reaching for something or a playful swipe, to them, it can trigger a fight or flight response. And let's face it, a cat's fight is usually to flee. It's not just about their physical safety, it's about emotional comfort too. A sudden movement disrupts their world, leaving them unsure of what's coming next. Now, speaking of things that set them on edge, there's something else that truly gets under their skin. Want to know what scent is like a cat's kryptonite? Stay tuned, because the next one's pretty wild. Number 5. Strong citrus smells. Ever noticed how your feline friend bolts the moment they smell an orange or lemon? It's not just coincidence, it's instinct. The scent of citrus fruits, whether fresh or in cleaners, is like an alarm bell to cats. Their sensitive noses pick up the overpowering odor, which many cats associate with something dangerous. Imagine if every time you took a whiff of a scent, your body told you to stay away or even retreat. Well, that's what it's like for your kitty. But it's not just about them being picky. Citrus is also a natural deterrent in the wild, so your little furball is just following their primal instincts. And let's be honest, we humans often like to surround ourselves with fresh scents. But for your cat, it's a whole different ballgame. Want to know what else makes your cat feel like they've stepped into a stressful situation? Let's dive into the next one. Number 4. Overstimulation, aka petting too much. Ever tried to hug a cat that just wasn't in the mood? It's like going in for a handshake and getting a fist bump instead. See, cats have their own personal space, and once it's invaded, watch out. While humans might appreciate a little extra affection now and then, cats can get overwhelmed by too much petting. There's actually a threshold they have for it. When you pet them too long, what was once a loving moment can suddenly turn into an unexpected scratch or a nip. It's not because they're mean, it's simply that their senses get overloaded. Think of it like this. Imagine someone giving you a massage that goes on just a bit too long. At first, it feels good, but eventually it gets uncomfortable. It's the same with your feline friend. Now, speaking of personal space, have you ever wondered just how much your cat really values their territory? That's coming up next, and trust us, it's more important than you think, and it's no other than Number 3. Invasion of territory. Have you ever noticed your feline friend suddenly acting out when a new pet or person enters the house? Here's why. Cats are territorial creatures, and their space is everything. Just like how we humans cherish our personal space, your cat has a defined area they consider theirs. If that space is disrupted without a proper introduction, it can cause anxiety, stress, or even aggression. It's their way of saying, "This is my home." Whether it's a new person, a new furry friend, or even a change in furniture, it can throw them off balance. It's not that they don't like the new arrival, it's just that they need time to adjust. Think of it like you moving into a new room and suddenly having people invade without asking. Wouldn't feel too great, right? And speaking of things that make them anxious, let's talk about something that can cause stress in a whole different way. Number 2. Lack of enrichment. Have you ever noticed your feline friend staring out the window for hours, seemingly lost in thought? That's not boredom, that's a cat who's craving enrichment. Without stimulation, they can become frustrated, stressed, or even depressed. It's like when we humans feel trapped in a dull routine, deprived of new experiences. Cats are natural hunters, and without proper outlets like toys, scratching posts, or vertical spaces to explore, they can quickly start displaying unwanted behaviors, like excessive meowing or destructive scratching. The lack of mental and physical challenges is actually detrimental to their well-being. Think of it as their version of being stuck in a room with nothing to do. You wouldn't like that, and neither do they. So, how do we fix this? It's simple. Create a dynamic environment that feeds their instincts. But there's something even more important than enrichment that could make all the difference. Let's dive into it at number 1. Being ignored or misunderstood. Have you ever felt completely ignored, like your needs weren't even noticed? Well, your cat feels the same way when you don't pick up on their cues. Sure, they're often seen as independent creatures, but trust us, they still want that bond with you. Cats hate being misunderstood. When you ignore their subtle signals, like a flicking tail or a soft meow, it's like telling them they're invisible. And we all know how that feels, right? You might think they're just being aloof, but in reality, they crave attention, just in their own unique way. So, when you dismiss their boundaries or fail to engage, it breaks the trust. They want affection on their terms, not yours. It's the difference between an offhanded pat and a loving, intentional scratch behind the ears. And the truth is, your kitty's dislikes go way beyond the obvious. It's not just about things they hate, it's about how deeply they feel every little change in their environment. From a messy litter box to loud, unexpected noises, every detail matters to them. Their feelings are real, and they can be more sensitive than you think. Want to keep that bond strong and avoid unintentional cat stress? Hit like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Stay tuned for more insights into what makes your cat tick, and let's make their world a little happier together. See you soon.